Good morning, students. This is Anjali, Assistant Professor of Computer Science Engineering, A&ML Department, IARE, Hyderabad. Today, we will going to learn about the data science. First, we will recall the last class just in minutes. In last class, we have learned feature selection, some benefits of feature selection, then filter methods and wrapper methods. In feature selection, we have selected only those features which we needed. We will not select all the features. We will select only uh, only important features. Those we have need. Then we have seen the benefits of some feature selection. In feature selection, simpler models, then shorter training times. If you use the feature selection method, then automatically your model will get very simple and it will be very easy for you. Then it will short the training time. It will take less time to the train the model. Then it will reduce the variance of your data. Then if in your data there is a high dimensionality, then it will avoid. And if your dataset will contain some overfitting problem, that overfitting problem also will reduce by the feature selection, and then it will improve the accuracy of your dataset. Without accuracy, you will not get the particular data, you will not get the particular result. Then it will reduce the training time also. That means, in short, feature selection method is very important for us. Without feature selection, if you cannot select the a particular data, particular features. Features means only you can say the features means your column names. Features mean your column name. And only those features we will select which we have needed. Which we have needed. For example, we can say there is an employee ID, then company name, mileage, and price. We can consider this table. Here, employee ID and price, there is no correlation. That means in feature selection, mostly it will show the correlation between the two or more attributes. If it's not if it's not showing any relation between the two or more attributes, then it is your noisy data. Now in our table we can say employee ID is a noisy data. Employee ID is our noisy data because it is not related with our selling price. That's why it is the noisy data. Then feature selection used some filter method. In filter methods, what happens? Only it selects some part of total data set, and that selected part is a very important for that table. You can consider that if you want to filter only those company names which have more than mileage of product, so that is our filtered data. And filtered data mostly contain the chi-square method. And chi-square method is, we can say that it will show the difference between observed value and expected value. Then wrapper method. In wrapper method, you have to wrap your data, then you have to give that wrapped data for the training purpose, and after training you have to decide first which model is very relevant for your data set. You have to find out only relevant data set, and on that basis we have two methods: forward selection and backward selection. In forward selection, we have to we have to find out the relevant data, most relevant data, most significant data. That means we can say, if you have some attributes, and first your set will be empty. It will begin with only empty set. And after that, you have to find out the most significant attribute. First, it will check for most significant attribute. If I found that X3 is the most significant output, then it will come here. That means it will contain one by one. And it will transfer to your set theory, in the in the data set one by one. And after that, all attributes will be included in this data set, in this null data set. That means now, if you have found that after x3 x2 is more significant, then you have to include that attribute. Then you find out x1 is most significant value, then x5, and then x4. That means one by one you have to include it till your bag or your data set should be empty. After that, we have selected, we have one technique, backward elimination. Now you have to eliminate the most insignificant or most irrelevant value from your data set. That means in your backward elimination, your data set will contain already some values. We can say x1, x2, x3, x4 and x5. But in this, it will search for only irrelevant attribute, and the process will start from the back side. The process will start from the backward. That means it will start from the x5 and it will move towards the x1. That means first it will search for x5 and it found that the x5 is irrelevant. Then it will remove the x5 and it will put x5 in the another set. Then another, you have a left attributes are x1, x2, x3, x4. Then again you have find out x4 is most relevant or x3 is most relevant. That attribute will be removed and it will store in the another set. This is all about the feature selection. Now we will learn about the data science. First, our contents are introduction of data, then information, data processing cycle, data science, why data science is important, and some types of data. Now, what is data? You're familiar with this word, data. Data is defined as fact or figure, or we can say information that is stored in or used by our computer. Mostly, this data word is a plural format. This data word is in the plural form, but its a singular form is data. Its a singular form is data, and data mostly contain some facts, some figures, and some information which will be used by the computer. And it is the individual unit which contain some raw materials, and that raw materials, it will not contain any specific meaning. That means data is a only collection of so many things which have no meaning. For example, we can say that if we want to publish any research paper, we want to write any research paper, then obviously first we will collect the information. And after that we will find out relevant data for our paper. So we can say that collected information is data for our research paper. Then again we can say email. this is also data. But nowadays, there are so many softwares in the market which will help you identify type of the data. But it's important to understand different type of data. Obviously, when you will collect the data from various sources, there should be it should be understanding format. It should be proper format. If it is not in proper format, then you have to convert it into proper format. You have to convert into in understandable format. So we can say what is meant by data in the form of definition. It is the combination of information, graphs, measurements, observation, facts, and numbers, quantities. That means this is the combination of all these things which containing information, graphs, measurement, observation, facts, numbers, quantities. Now we will see information. Information is a group of data. Information is group of data which collectively carries some logical meaning. Data do not contain any meaning. Data have no meaning. But when you have a information, then it will contain some meaning. It has some meaning. That means we can say the knowledge shared or obtained through the study, through instruction, investigation, or news. We can obtain the knowledge from various sources by studying some instruction, some investigation, or news. But you have to share it through the communicating, whether it is verbally or non-verbally, if visually or written word. That means you have to share that information, you have to share that data by various methods. That information has a various names, different names, which including intelligence, message, data, signal, and some facts also. This plays main important role just about everything we do in modern society. Nowadays, information is playing very important role for the modern society, and it is always, we can say that it is the organized or classified data which has some meaningful values for the receiver. When you collect the data, at that time your data has no meaning, it's not meaningful. It should contain sometimes noisy data. But when you have a group of data, that is the information, and that information has some meaning, that contains some meaningful values, and it will process data which decisions and actions are based. Now, there are some difference between the data and information. Data means we can say it's only collection of the facts, and information means those facts you collected, that facts you have to put into the context. Now, we can say data is raw and it is in the unorganized format, but information is in the organized format. Then in data points are always individual, always individual, but information maps out that to provide some big picture view of how it will fits together. Data is meaningful, or we can say unrelated, but information is always contain meaningful information. Then data does not depend on information. Data does not depend on information, but we can say information always depends on data. Then data should be in the form of graphs, numbers, figures, or we can say statistics also. but information presented through the words, language, thoughts, and ideas. It is not sufficient. Data is not sufficient for decision making, but always information is always make decisions based on your data, on your information. If you have a information, if you have a group of data, then definitely it will be easy to take decisions. Now we will see the data processing cycle. Data processing is the restructuring or reordering of the data by people or machine for increasing their usefulness and add values for particular purpose. It consists some steps: input, processing, and output. And these steps, we can say that these steps are very important for processing of the data. First, you have to give your input, and in this step, you have to give input. You have to prepare some convenient form of data for the processing, and that form will depend on your processing machine. For example, we can say electronic computers are used. The data input can be recorded on any one of the several types of medium such as magnetic disk, tapes, and so on. Then processing. It is the second step. That means it will be used to produce the data. First, you have to give data. You have to give the input to your machine. Then, after accepting that input, here in the processing, it will change your data into the useful format, and that useful format data is very useful for the user. You can say paychecks can be calculated from the time cards, or summary of sales for the month can be calculated from the sales order. Now output, we can say the result of proceeding processing step is collected. That means first you have to give input to your machine, then you have to process on it, and after processing you will get the output. Then particular form of output data depends on the use of the data. For example, output data may be paychecks for employees. Here it's a collection of data. Then we have given the some input to machine. That input has accepted by the machine. After accepting, here it is the processing. Then processing, after processing, it it will convert into the useful data. That is the, we can say, the output, and it that output means it is our information. Now we will move next topic, data science. Data science is interdisciplinary field which uses some scientific methods, some processes, some algorithms, and some system for extracting the knowledge. And it insights from, it contains sometimes noisy, structured, unstructured data, and with that knowledge or that data can apply the knowledge from data across broad range of application domains. That means when you are collecting the data, when you are extracting the data from different sources, then it should contain some noisy data, it should contain some structured data, or we can say it should contain the unstructured data also. This data science is a field of study which combines some domain expertise, some programming skills, knowledge of mathematics and statistics to extract the meaningful insights from the data. Mostly practitioners apply machine learning algorithm on the numbers, text, images, video, and audio. but it is used to produce the artificial intelligence system for performing the particular task that ordinarily require to the human intelligence. In terms, this system generate insights which analysts and business users can translate into the tangible business value. And this tangible business value will help you to make the best decision related to your business. And this data science is really, we can say that, fusion of three disciplines: computer science, maths, and business. And this data science use mostly computer science methodology for writing this complex algorithm and some computational system. This complex algorithm and computational system perform statistical analysis of unstructured data set, all to reach business goal. And data science is not only limited to just only one industry or area of study. It is used by every field, because nowadays data is increasing day by day. Data science has already proven valuable within healthcare, in energy, then economics, criminal justice, or of course you can say that it is used in marketing also. We can say see the structure of data science. In this structure of data science, this is the combination of data. This is the combination of different things. Different thing means computer science IT, then maths and statistics, domains business knowledge, and you can say that it contains some software development, traditional research, and machine learning algorithms also. That means this is the combination of all these things. Now we will see why data science is important. We know that nowadays data is increasing day by day. In before some years, uh, some employees can store the data in the form of Excels, but at the at one of the stage, it is not easy for that employee to manage that data. So nowadays, this data is increasing day by day. So that data we have to manage. We have to manage that data properly. We have to adjust. We have to control that data. So there is need of what is important data science. Need to know about the data science. And more companies nowadays, companies are realizing that importance of data science, importance of artificial intelligence, and importance of machine learning also. Regardless of industry or size, organizations wish to remain competitive in the age of big data, which need to efficiently develop or some implement data science capabilities or risk being left behind. It enables companies to efficiently understand the gigantic data from multiple sources. Data science always help to understand the large amount of data which you are collected from different sources, which you are collected from various places, and you have to, it will help to derive the valuable insights to make smarter data driven decisions. And data science used in very various industry domain, then including we can say marketing, healthcare, finance, banking, policy work, and more things. It enables some companies to understand some points, some data, and on that basis you will get the understandable outputs. This data science is main purpose is to find the pattern within the data, and this pattern is used to derive the some decisions, and it uses some statistical techniques for analyzing and for making the some outputs from the data. From data, extraction, wrangling and pre-processing, data scientist must scrutinize the data thoroughly. He has the responsibility of prediction of the data, making the predictions of data, because data scientists, data engineers are very important for the data, for handling the data, because data scientist is to derive the some conclusions from the data, and that conclusions are able to assist the companies in making some smarter business decisions. Now we will see the difference between data analyst, data engineer and data scientist. Data analyst, it will analyze the numeric data, and that data uses it to in help companies make better decisions. Then data engineer involves in preparing the data, develop, construct and test, maintain the complete architecture. And data scientists analyze and interpret the some complex data, and they are data wranglers who organize the data. That means data analyst will analyze the data engineer will develop, construct, test and maintain the complete architecture of data, and data scientist will analyze or interpret some complex data, and it will help to organize the data with the help of data wranglers. Now, there are different types of a data: structured data, unstructured data, qualitative data, and quantitative data. First, we will see structured data. When you collect the data from various sites or various places, then it should contain sometime noisy data, sometimes it should contain the structured data, sometimes there should be unstructured data, sometimes it should contain some incompleteness, or there should be error also. That means after collecting the data, it should contain all these things: noisy data, structured data, unstructured data, incompleteness of data, then error also. But after removing these things, your data should be in the structured format. Structured data, is in standardized format. It has well structured. It has well structured. Then it can complies the data model. It can follow some persistent model. It is easily accessed by humans and programs. It is a generally stored in database. It is structured data, and it is that structured data will follow some structure. It will follow some rules. It will follow some ethics, and according to that, your data will be available, and your data should contain some order also. And if your data is in the structured format, then it is very easy to access by the humans and programs. This data mostly stored in the database. And structured data, we can say the around 20% of data in the worldwide is in the structured format out of the 100%. And 80% we can say it is unstructured data. 80% is the unstructured data, and 20% data is the structured data. This is because it is easy to access, easy to use, and the outcomes of using it are far more accurate. Obviously, if you will use the unstructured data, then automatically it can contain some error, it can contain some noisy data, and it should give the errors also. So you have to use only structured data. If you use structured data, then automatically outcomes of your data will be correct, will be accurate. And this data can be thought of as observation and characteristics. It is usually organized using a table method, and table means we can say the collection of rows and columns. And best example of structured data is a English dictionary. Best example of structured data is English dictionary. Now this is the example of structured data. See, this is the model which containing some users, order, line item and some product. Here every data is organized in the form of table, and here you can see that user table is containing user ID, user address, phone, email, alternate, and then with user table order table is connected. Order table is connected with the user table, and it is showing that order ID with the user ID. With user ID 1 has ordered 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8 order ID product. Then line item is linked with the order table, and this will contain some order ID, product ID and quantity. It is showing the quantity. Then line item and product is related with each other. That means here every data is stored in the form of table, and that tables are or that information is related with each other. This is the structured data. This we can say that this type of data is the structured data. Now we will see advantages of structured data. If you will not follow the structured data, then obviously it should contain some noisy data. Structured data will help in easy storage or accessing the data. It can be indexed which based on some text string as well as attributes. This makes search operation very easily. Search operation without error, and because of the structured data, it is easy to gain some knowledge or some extract the data from that source, and operations such as updating, deleting very easy for by using the structured data. Business intelligence operations such as data warehousing can be easily undertaken. Data warehousing means it will collect the data from different sources and it will store in the central repository, and it will be very scalable in case there is an increment of data. Even if you are using structured data, then it will provide the security to your data, and it will be easy to provide security to your data. Now, unstructured data. Unstructured data is the data which does not conform to a data model. That means data structure has unstructured data does not contain any rules, does not contain any structure. That data is available in the form of data. It is not in the structured format. If it is the unstructured format, then it is no easy to identify particular data, and it is very difficult for user to find out or to access the data. Unstructured data is not organized in predefined manner or does not have predefined data model. That means it is not a good fit for a mainstream relational database. Unstructured data are data sets which does not have been structured in predefined manner. That means unstructured data can contain some error, and it will not follow any rules. It would not contain any structure also. That's why we can say it is unstructured data. It is unorganized format. It is always in unorganized format. Unstructured information is growing quickly due to increased use of digital application and services. I already told that when you collect the data at that time, hardly 20% data you will get in the structured format and 80% data you will get in the unstructured format. Now, advantages of unstructured data. Mostly it will support lacks of paper, a proper format or sequence. It will not contain any fixed schema. It is flexible due to absence of schema. We can use any type of data. It is portable. It is scalable, and even it will help to deal easily with the heterogeneity of the sources. This type of data have variety of business intelligence and some analytics applications also. Now you can observe this diagram, schema of data, structured data. This is the structured data and unstructured data. This structured data is in the proper format. It is following some ethics. It is following some structure. But in unstructured data, the data doesn't follow any rules, does not follow any structure. Just these data are available in the set. Now we will see comparison of structured and unstructured data. Structured data, it can be displayed in rows, columns and relational database. But unstructured data, it does not display in the row, column or relational database. I already told that structured data will follow some structure, some rules, but unstructured data will not follow any rule or any structure. But structured data will always save in the form of rows and columns, but unstructured data, we can't store that data in the form of rows and columns. Structured data can contain numbers, dates and strings, but unstructured data can contain images, audio, video, word processing files, emails, some spreadsheets. But unstructured data, we can say unstructured data hardly estimated 20% of enterprise data, and unstructured data estimated 80% of enterprise data. Structured data requires less storage. If you have a structured data, then it requires less storage, but unstructured data, it requires more storage. Because unstructured data contain all type of data. That's why it requires the more storage. Then structured data is easy to manage, easy to protect with some solutions. But unstructured data is very difficult to manage and protect with the legacy solution. This is the all about structured data and unstructured data. Now, the remaining types of data we will cover in the next class. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.